So, what's considered a New York staple, the humble bagel has become a mainstream favorite throughout the U.S., and one New York couple decided it was high time to bring the authentic flavors of an East Coast bagel to the Lone Star State. I quite agree, actually, and Paige is live in Fort Worth to give us a bite from the Big Apple. Hello to you, Paige.
Hey, good morning to you and good morning, Texas. Never since maybe the opening of Will Rogers Coliseum, I don't know, some over a century ago, has there been as much anticipation for the opening of something here in Fort Worth. And that was the fervor that was happening before Dan's Bagels finally opened here in Fort Worth. I'm excited to introduce you to the two owners. This is Dan and Jen Hilbert with Dan's Bagels, and just a little portion of the selection that they have. Good morning. I'm so happy you're here. My family's happy you're here. The entire city of Fort Worth welcomes you. We're glad that you opened. Good morning to you.
Thanks for having us. Good morning to you, too.
I want to talk a little bit about your backstory because it's so interesting. Back in 2020, you know how we all were doing. You had to do a major pivot. You were in real estate. Correct. You had to think, what can I do to kind of keep the lights on in the house? You're from the East Coast, and you took a lesson from some of the flavors that you had in the East Coast to create these bagels. Tell me more.
We sure did. So we found ourselves in our home and got a little homesick and missed bagels. So Dan had the idea of creating bagels. And the flavors we brought, it is a Northeast influenced bagel. It's a sourdough bagel. So the flavor's fabulous. So just some flavors that we brought to the table here. We have plain, rosemary salt, jalapeno cheddar, everything, garlic and salt, sesame, cinnamon sugar crunch, blueberry, cinnamon raisin.
And they also have cream cheeses to boot. We're going to give you an inside glimpse. You talked about sourdough bagels. So as we wind our way back around here, you can see the store is actually closed today. And so this is the day that you do all of the prep. So people are here, busy little bees, working away because everything is kind of scratch made from start to finish, from the different types of cream cheeses that you have to the different types of ingredients that you use. But it all begins with a starter, and that begins with sourdough. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so our sourdough bagels, our starter is actually 5 years old. And so we use sourdough because of a couple reasons. Benefits are better flavor, lasts longer, better for your tummy, right? And you don't get that carb crash at the end of the day.
I didn't know that. So sourdough does not have the carb crash that we sometimes get when we overeat on our carbs. And so this is something that really took a while for you to process and to learn. You were not bagel people. You'd never been in the restaurant industry before. So you began that process, had to take some lessons yourself in order to really master the flavors.
Correct. So we just made many bagels, not very good ones to begin with, and Dan just kept perfecting it. And Dan visited New Jersey and got together with another New York bagel maestro and learned and created his recipe.
I love Bagel Maestro. Okay, we only have a couple minutes left, and so I want to actually get in the process of what we're doing here. So tell me what this is.
Okay, so this is cranberry orange,
Okay.
very special flavor. We introduced it about 2.5 years ago for Thanksgiving.
All right.
And so this is one of those bagels that we actually hand roll, and we twist, and we go from there. So I'll show you just real quickly.
All right.
And maybe we can, so you basically make a little bit of a log, you twist it.
Jen, can you hold the microphone for me so I can try it too?
I'd love for
so
you
you
to
do
try.
a little bit of a log, like you
Yep.
said,
Yep.
and
That's
then,
great. And wrap it around your hand.
okay, let's move the mic closer to Dan too. Wrap it around your hand here.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. And then you put the seam down.
So we put the seam down. You
like
take it from here.
this, right? And then basically, you have a bagel.
Boy, I bet after a while you can knock about 100 of them out in a minute. then the process moves over here. Let's look at this
Yeah.
contraption. Tell me more
Okay,
about this.
so this one here, we do about 10,000 bagels a week, and this is automated. So I'm going to turn it on for you. It's right here. And what this does is it basically takes the bagels, right, just like that, and you basically get it going. And at the
So
end,
cool.
It twists into a bagel.
All right, so then let me also talk to you a little bit about your success because you realized that you were onto something when you sold out of your bagels in a matter of what? How much time?
We sold 1,000 bagels in 7 minutes.
How many?
7 minutes.
So you knew that you were onto something. And I think that there is a need for some of this authentic East Coast flavors, is particularly in bagels. And the fact that you use sourdough as your dough, you really have hit the mark. I cannot wait to sample some of these.
Thank you very, very much. We appreciate it.
Well, a big Texas howdy and a particular welcome from Fort Worth. We are thrilled you're here. I don't know who's happier, me or my husband, but both of us are thrilled to have you here. Thank you so much. You can find out more information, location, and Trophy Club, and this new one here in Fort Worth by going to danbagels.com.